Hey everyone, welcome back to Pokemon Market Lab. We're talking about the Pokemon Company today and, this recent news about them sidestepping distributors. If you haven't heard, there's taking product that was intended for distributors and instead, and in some cases, repackaging that product and giving it to Costco, Sam's Club, Walmart, and Target to try to move that product at a cheaper price through the distributor, through the selling channels, right? If you don't know, distributors take product and they tack on an additional cost to it on the secondary market like this. So post-release, release is the only time that distributors have to agree to a price. They contractually obligated to agree to that price. Post-release, they can put whatever price they want on the product, which means obviously in a market like this, they want a piece of that pie, that hot market. So they're going to up their margins on there. And then subsequently, when it lands in the hands of local game stores, they're tacking on a margin as well. And I'm not here to say that's evil or anything like that, but the Pokemon Company is, they're trying to control the controllables. And one of the only levers that they can pull is where that product goes, right? Obviously, they can control how much they print, but in some ways, that's not something they can control because they're limited on their print bandwidth, right? Only so much they can do. To bring another printer online is a huge capital expenditure. It takes years to do. They're doing that, but that takes time. So one thing they can do in the short term is, okay, let's get more product out there. Let's get it through a channel that's cheaper. We know that product that lands in Costco is going to sell for this price. That wholesaler has agreed to sell it at that price. And I think the thought process here from the Pokemon Company is that, yes, this could still land in the hands of scalpers and resellers, but it's still entering that secondary market at a cheaper price. So if a reseller goes to Costco and grabs the Surging Sparks 2-pack, that's in the secondary market at that point. That's in the secondary market hands, and it's entering that market at such a cheap price and in such a volume that it has a pull down effect on that market. We've seen it already in Surging Sparks. I think part of that reduction in price, we're down from $100 just a few weeks ago to $75 on Surging Sparks. I did a video about this yesterday. I will link above and in the description below if you want to look at it. The impact that has on the market is twofold. Again, it's the supply side. You add more supply. If there's not enough demand, the price starts to drop. But again, it's a signal to the market too that, hey, we're doing this, and there's knockdown effects to that. It flushes people out. People start stepping over each other for price because they want to move product. And when not enough demand comes into the market to kind of look at it visually, it gets dropping. If not enough demand comes into that to catch that and support it at a certain price, then sellers are just going to keep stepping over each other to reduce price, especially if they haven't done this for a long time. Maybe they got capital tied up. They're used to churning that capital to free up more capital, right, to reinvest into the business. If that dries up, they start getting concerned and they start flushing out pretty quickly. We've seen it compartmentalized to really just Surging Sparks at this point. But if we start, I said this in my video yesterday, if we start seeing it, or the other day, I should say, if we start seeing that spill over to other products, specifically Prismatic, because it's been so strong from a price standpoint, there's going to be knockdown effects where it starts spilling over into other sets too. And we start seeing some weakness on both the demand side and the sell side. Sellers are going to start just capitulating and stepping over each other for price. You're going to see pretty quick price drops. And then it sends a signal to sellers too that there's opportunity. If they haven't seen opportunity for many, many months at any reasonable prices, and suddenly they see opportunity, everyone's like, well, they're going to flood in and they're going to buy. They might not. They might wait. That might be a signal that, well, I didn't think I could ever get Prismatic Evolutions ETBs, but now they've dipped below $100. We're going to continue to see supply come to the market. Maybe there's an opportunity there. And I've talked about how you should approach this and everything and dollar cost average. We're going to do a separate video on that. But today's video is really focused on what this means for the greater market, what this means from a 20-year standpoint. And let's talk about the confidence that I have, and I think you should have, in the Pokemon Company. And how this is, if you're serious about doing this kind of hobby, investing in collecting and sealed product to hold for a long period of time. Number one, you should be subscribed below, right? Number two, this should be the best signal in the world. The Pokemon Company knows how important it is to get product in the hands of collectors, rippers, kids, families, just across the board. And that when prices on the secondary market are high and supply is not there, that cannot happen. I've had a couple of comments say, well, the Pokemon Company is doing this for money. No, they're not. They're doing this because they're doing the shift because it's better for their product and the confidence in their product long term. They're going to make the money regardless. Whether it goes to distributors, Walmart, Target, Costco, they're going to make the money regardless. Just like Target and Walmart, when they sell to you, they makes no difference to them who that money is coming from. The Pokemon Company cares. The Pokemon Company is thinking generationally, and I'm not kidding. And the reason that they can do that is because they're not, in large part, beholden to shareholders. A company like Wizards of the Coast is beholden to shareholders. Even their management is beholden to shareholders, right? And they live quarter by quarter, earnings result after earnings result, forecast after forecast. And it makes it very hard for them in the short term to make sacrifices that could pay off in the long term. So, and I've said this before, look at the PokemonCenter.com, right? The anti-bot technology that they deployed there, that's not perfect. I'm not saying it's perfect, but the effort and a website of that kind of scale costs a lot of money. A lot of money. Why should they care? They're going to get that money, whether they sell it there, sell it somewhere else, they're going to get that money. They do it because they care about the perception of their brand. As much as they sell cute cards with artwork, amazing artwork, a game that's played more than anyone gives it credit for, at the end of the day, they're selling confidence. Confidence that that particular artwork card is not going to get printed 10 years down the road, that they're just going to handle that intellectual property in a way that matters to them. They're not going to cheapen it. Look how many new products has the Pokemon Company made in the last 5 or 6 years. They've not gone down the road of making collector boxers, this and that. I'm not saying they haven't created new product. They have, but they move slowly and intentionally, and they're thinking 5+ years, 10+ years down the road. And doing something like this, taking the effort, and it costs them money to do this, right? They're repackaging. I don't know if Costco is repackaging the product or they're packaging it. Someone's taking on the cost of doing that. That's an additional cost to package it into those bundles, right? They're doing so when they don't have to, again, because they know it's going to help bring down that market and soften that market. I think it's intentional. I really do think it's intentional. I can kind of see a picture, a narrative here that's kind of put together on the intention. I'm obviously not privy to any other information than you are, but it seems intentional to me, and it's masterful. I think it's masterful in a TCG industry at a time when they really don't have to. They can just sit back and collect. They know that in the long run, and I'm talking 10, 20, 30 years, that this is going to pay off. This means people, hopefully the result is that product gets more into the hands of people who actually care. Not who actually care, I shouldn't say. The people, the next generation of people. I'm telling you, moms and dads aren't paying $120 for ETBs for their kids. Pokemon, for people who are new to it and for younger generations, is something that you grab in the checkout line at the grocery store or in Target. Why do you think it's next to the checkout line in Target and Walmart, right? It's an impulse buy. There is none of that product available. None. The only people who are going to TCG Player to buy product are diehard fans. And us diehard fans are going to be here no matter what. But we need to get new people into the hobby. You've got to think longer term instead of what a product is done in 6 to 10 months. And this is so critical. And this is why this is number one opportunity, cheaper prices for you. Again, I'm talking about surging sparks. Any dip in prices here, you should be dollar cost averaging. This is opportunity. If you're fearful of any of this stuff that's happening, and I'm not saying this is a wide crash or anything like that. This is really 1 or 2 data points, right? But I think it signals what's possible. What other product in the Pokemon sphere, sealed, have we seen drop 40% in a few weeks span in the last 10 months? Nada. Zero. Zip. What this shows is that this is possible. And this might be a short-term blip. It might bounce right back, but it's possible. And if we see that happen in another product, again, Prismatic Evolutions is a specific one, man, that would spill over. And the back half of Scarlet and Violet could wipe out from underneath us. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying it's a possibility. And I think that what's happened on Surging Sparks, I think, is indicative of that. Again, we did not see a rush in of people to buy product. We saw some increases, right? We've seen some uptick in volume. But this, even what I've said, I thought there'd be people waiting in the wings, right, to hop in with their money to buy product at that cheap price. And I think, we are seeing some of that, but not in the waves that people thought. And I think, again, the signal here, number one, is how many people are in this hobby right now because it's expensive. When you take that out of the equation, they're done. They're not buyers. They see the product as toxic. Number two, it sends a signal to buyers that you're going to have opportunity. None of us thought we had opportunity, right? Which creates FOMO, which draws that money in, that purchasing power at higher prices. So again, this is, and I think this could ripple to other sets. I think if you're looking at Prismatic Evolutions and you're out there saying it's never going to get close to MSRP again, those are the same people that were out there saying Surging Sparks, you're never going to have an opportunity under $90 again. Do not discount the possibility that another drop on Prismatic is possible, that we could get to $80 a pop. Now, again, I've said this in my other video, my supply surge video. Don't just wait for that. Grab a box at $97, at $100, and wait for that other opportunity and see if it happens. That's how you hedge. That's how you hedge to the upside and you hedge to the downside. So again, I think if you're at all fearful, if you're a seller out there is fearful or a buyer out there is fearful, you got to reverse your mindset. You got to be excited when the market crashes, and you should be fearful when it's a hot market like this. You should be so excited that the Pokemon Company, and so confident that the Pokemon Company is willing to do things like this. I cannot think of another popular IP brand like this that would do anything like this. Disney wouldn't. Disney will come after you with lawyers and everything to try to protect their IP, but they'll cheapen their brand. They have no problem doing that. They'll cheapen their brand for a quick buck to get to the next quarter. I can't think of another popular, as big of a product as Pokemon is and how much revenue they generate, that operates like this. And it gives me so much confidence as someone who wants to hand off product to my kids when they're older, to hand off to their kids, that the Pokemon Company is in fantastic hands for the next 20 to 30 years. That the Pokemon Company might survive, Pokemon might survive the heat death of the universe. That's what it feels like at this point. I just have such confidence for it. And I think that the only concern I had was, again, getting product in the hands of kids. And it's super important. It fills my soul when I see kids opening Pokemon packs. I love giving them out. I give them out every Halloween. I do the trick or trade bundles. Packs with candy and stuff in bags. I love it. I think it's something to share. This is not just an investment channel, folks. If you're new here, we love what we do here, and the finance side here is just a benefit. Making money here is just a benefit. Take it a step further with the Pokemon Company. The vending machines. And I know there's been, people have been stocking them out and everything, but they're trying to do something to get product direct to people. And they're putting phone number logging on there and everything. They're trying when no one else is trying. They care. And I really got to give them credit for it. They're not just in it for a quick buck. And that's why I am so bullish on the future of Pokemon. It's not even funny. And I'm going to, as product drops, if product drops, I'm not saying we're going to see a crash. This is probably just a correction on Surging Sparks on one particular product. That's the opportunity. That's when you back the truck up. And that's why you keep some money on the sidelines. When you buy product, expensive product that's up in price that you're chasing, there's opportunity cost. I've seen it myself. I go all in. I have to have my money out there working for me. I don't care at what dollar cost that is. And then something comes up like this, an event comes up like this, which is all opportunity. And I don't have enough capital on the sidelines to deploy to take advantage of that. So keep that in mind. That's a great takeaway here. Have a little cash in reserve to make purchases. So that way you don't miss out on things. So that's my video today. The future is bright. I hope you think so too. And it's all opportunity. It's all upside. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Again, check out SleeveTCG in the description below as well. A great option for getting product at MSRP. It's not a guarantee, but it does level the playing field for what amounts to the cost of a couple of cups of coffee. And with that, we'll see you on the next one. Pokémon Market Lab